Saitama, the One Punch Man versus Son Goku, Earth's strongest warrior. This matchup is the true battle of gods. On the left we have the most iconic hair in fiction, and on the right we have the shiniest bald head around as well. But I'm sure that you also have wondered at some point who is truly the strongest fighter in anime and manga. Well, this fight will truly decide who is on top, and I promise the conclusion is far from what you think it's going to be. And now, while there's many different ways to compare these two, I think the most straightforward way is to match them up in 3 different rounds. Kid Goku versus Saitama before becoming a hero, Dragon Ball Z Goku versus Saitama fully awakened, and then Dragon Ball Super Goku versus Saitama in his battle against Garo. And so let's just get right into things with their 2 most basic forms, Kid Goku and Saitama, still with hair here. And to be completely honest, this one isn't even close. Saitama with hair is just a regular person. He almost dies to this crab monster, Crablante, barely managing to defeat him. Now, of course, it is exactly that close call which pushes him into a way higher gear and starts off his journey to the Caped Baldy. But I do have to admit that when it comes to well-roundedness, Saitama has Goku cooked. He may be without a job at this point and down on his luck, but he has got his degree and can support himself financially, which is far more than Goku has. But I'm not certain that this battle is going to involve a one-on-one interview section. And unfortunately for regular Saitama here, Goku is just completely broken even as a kid. You see, Dragon Ball basically started out as a simple retelling of the journey to the West. It's the iconic story of the Monkey King Sun Wukong, which means that Goku's powers, abilities, and also his equipment are all that of a godlike figure. Now, I'm not saying that he is a god, at least not yet, but what I am saying is that he is strong enough even as a kid to accomplish some truly insane feats. Not only can his power pole stretch all the way to the moon, like we can see him do to Monster Carrot, which is this Mafia rabbit boss, but we also see him pick up a car and toss it in the very first chapter of Dragon Ball. In other words, Goku is incredibly skilled and versatile right from the get-go. With his flying Nimbus, he can soar around the skies at incredible speeds. He's durable enough to tank RPG rocket explosions at point-blank range, and at one time he gets shot in the head, he's just casually shaking it off. And then after just a few years, he can even already rival the strength of his master Roshi, who we've seen literally blow up the moon so that he could stop a raging Great Ape Goku as well. Oh yeah, and that Great Ape form that I just mentioned, well, we do learn from Vegeta later on in Dragon Ball that the Great Ape is a transformation designed to conquer planets. So that kind of means that from the very beginning of the series, Goku is technically strong enough to blow up the moon and take over the entire planet by himself. And so a fight between Kid Goku and pre-hero Saitama would be, well, interesting to say the very least. I mean, we do know from Saitama's interactions with Tatsumaki that he's got no issue giving an attitude to children. And so in the end, if they fought, it would probably be because Goku was just a very rude child. I mean, the kid grew up in the woods after all, and we know his manners are, let's say, subpar, to be very polite here. I can kind of see it starting with Saitama trying to discipline Goku into behaving, and the nice child he is, Goku would probably apologize, but also question why he's getting scolded in the first place. This would lead to Saitama being the responsible adult and punish Goku, and well, that would just not go really well. He duck, dodge, dip, dive, and just destroy Saitama, let's be real. Or who knows, maybe Saitama just comes across Goku on a full moon night, and as a result, the entire city, including Saitama, just gets completely annihilated. So yeah, without any question, round 1 just always had to go to Goku, but now, of course, the real battle begins as Z Goku goes up against awakened hero form Saitama. Now, in Dragon Ball Z, we do see Goku go even further beyond what we already thought was possible. In his base form, he has the power to rival planet-level threats like Vegeta and Frieza. Vegeta even threatens to destroy Earth with an immense Gallic gun, something that Vegeta's scream promises us will destroy everything. But not only that, Frieza is a villain whose might allowed him to conquer literal galaxies. Like, you know, enslaving the warrior race of the Saiyans just casually. His power in his base form was strong enough to destroy planet Vegeta single-handedly, destroying every Saiyan alive in one fell swoop. And now remember, each Saiyan is implied to have the strength to destroy a whole planet just by themselves, and Frieza just killed all of them in one attack. But that's still nothing for him, because in his final form, he's even more devastating, as he's able to casually launch blasts that could destroy the planet Namek. And that is a planet that is at least 3 times bigger than Earth. But let's not count Saitama just out yet, because he is, as we all know, a true god-level threat as well. For one, Saitama can literally move faster than light, as we see him keep up with the legendary fighter Boros, a space conqueror who is a literal parody of Super Saiyan Goku and Frieza. Now, during that battle, we do see Saitama tank attacks that were stated to completely vaporize anything that they usually come into contact with. He also survives being launched into the moon, and literally, and I can't even begin to describe how absurd this is, jumps back to the planet. In this panel, Saitama seriously just does a little hop and travels over 200,000 miles in a matter of seconds. And then of course this battle is topped off when Boros reveals that his final attack could completely destroy the entire planet's surface, to which Saitama just shrugs it off and defeats him with a single serious punch. In other words, this Saitama is very much a force to be reckoned with for Goku. And now that I did mention Super Saiyan Goku, so how much more powerful does Goku actually get when he gets that beautiful, lush, golden, spiky hair? I should grow my own hair out again. Well, Super Saiyan is the legendary transformation that the Saiyans can achieve, and it's a power that boosts their strength to truly insane levels. 3 to be precise. With Super Saiyan 1, his power is 50 times stronger than in his base form. Then on top of that, when you boost up to Super Saiyan 2, that strength is boosted up to 100 times stronger. In fact, it's that crazy amplifier which lets Gohan, Goku's son, defeat the invincible villain Perfect Cell, a character who was literally Frieza, Vegeta, Goku, and the world's strongest warriors all combined into one. That guy had literal infinite regeneration and the strength of a Super Saiyan, but Gohan just completely erased him from existence with his infamous father-son Kamehameha. But the real nightmare is of course the super iconic Super Saiyan 3, because when Goku grows that rockstar hair, he gets a mind-bending 400 times boost to his own power. To put that into perspective, it's a form so incredibly strong that simply the act of transforming into it creates worldwide tsunamis, earthquakes, and rips the entire sky apart. That's right, he literally begins to destroy entire cities, shattering buildings by just barely putting out his base energy. In fact, apparently this insane output even threatens to destroy the entire planet, at least according to Tien. But not only that, Kibito Kai can actually feel Goku's ki radiating from the Kaioshin realm as well, which is just a very fancy way of saying that Goku's power output can be felt across literally the entire universe. As it turns out, we actually do have a visual map for what the Dragon Ball universe does look like, and it's these giant snow globe type of structures. And so based on statements about Buu, in addition to various comments from the gods, it's pretty safe to estimate that the mortal realm and the distance from that to Kai's planet is at least billions of light years across. In other words, we're talking about distances that you and I can't even begin to nearly comprehend, but yet Goku can shake it by simply tapping into his full power. And we're not even talking about the truly insane output that this form actually gives him. He's able to damage the mythical Majin Buu, an ancient demon of pure evil that has the ability to kill gods and destroy not planets, but galaxies. As you can imagine, Buu is a nearly invincible character that pushes Goku to his limits, but eventually killing it with the combined energy of the entire planet Earth. And now that is some top tier power right there, but what's even better are his crazy techniques. I mean, how can Saitama possibly hope to keep up with all of that? Well, for one, let's not forget that Saitama in one single punch defeats a character with infinite regeneration capabilities and the power to destroy the planet. Not to mention that he does all of that without ever really taking things even close to serious. To put all of that into perspective, Cell is a character who was such a serious threat to the Earth that it took the powers of a Super Saiyan 2 to defeat him. This was a full-out battle that left Gohan completely exhausted and on his limits afterwards. And so if we take Boros' statements at face value, Saitama's strength and durability should far exceed anything that we see in Dragon Ball way before at least the Buu saga. And then if we take into account just how casually he does all this, his power is definitely higher than the Z fighters at the start of the Buu arc as well. You see, the energy output from that very first blast that Boros fires is described to do something that none of Goku's attack ever could, which is to completely vaporize an opponent and anything it comes into contact with. You might remember that it takes a full power attack from Gohan's Super Saiyan 2 father-son Kamehameha to have that same impact on Cell. But the real truth behind Saitama's strength is what Boros says right after this fight. You see, Boros, a character with the ability to dominate the universe and destroy entire planets, says that Saitama isn't even close in this fight to using his actual full power. Which means, in other words, that he's at the very least able to destroy planets, move faster than light, and withstand attacks significantly stronger than what we've seen in that initial fight with a galaxy-level threat like Boros. Now, Goku does have several very iconic attacks: the Kamehameha, the Spirit Bomb, Kaioken, and Instant Transmission. He can also fly, sends energy from galaxies far, far away, and as we learned from his training with Master Roshi, Goku is so talented that he can copy techniques after seeing them just one single time. But hey, I guess if that doesn't work, he can still do his signature move as well, biting. Like, seriously, for some reason, this dude just loves to chomp into his opponents. That happens more than once. Now, compared to Goku, who has crazy techniques like energy beams, teleportation, and advanced martial arts, Saitama just tends to keep things very, very simple. But make no mistake, simple is far from weak or bad. In a nutshell, normal punches and consecutive normal punches are Saitama's go-to standard means of fighting. And the name really says it all. They're just overwhelmingly powerful punches, but also they're just regular punches. No, like, real effort behind them whatsoever. Again, keep in mind that these are the attacks that left the Deep Sea King, an S-class threat, completely destroyed. They also were nearly able to defeat Boros until he transformed into his final form as well. However, in the few rare cases where more power is actually necessary, Saitama can just bust out his Serious series, the Serious Punch. In other words, that is a full power punch from the One Punch Man. But Manu, how does he deal with a Kamehameha? Well, don't worry about that, because we do see during his fight against Orochi, the Monster King, that he actually has a solution for even that. The Serious Squirt Gun. Basically, he does that little hand thing that your older cousin probably does in the pool to blast water, but at a level that rivals the Gaia Cannon. In case you don't know, that was a beam of energy with the destructive power of the Earth's core. And to me at least, that sounds like that could very well rival a Kamehameha, to me at least. But you see, the real problem is that we don't really see Saitama's full potential until his fight with Garo. And so for this second round, I think we either have to give it to Saitama or have to call it somewhat of a draw, because throughout Dragon Ball Z, we see Goku accomplish even crazier feats like shaking the planet and the universe. Saitama's casual feats are something that Goku just never does. So at the very least, a battle between these two god-level characters would destroy the entire planet without any question. Goku would probably hear about a fighter with the ability to take down his enemies in one punch. Now, that is very exciting, and Goku would use his ki sense to find Saitama and teleport to him. Now, Goku would probably interrupt Saitama's lunch or video game session, and that would be a major problem. But Without hesitation, Goku would throw a punch, something that Saitama would either block or honestly probably just super easily tank. I mean, you just know that Goku would probably teleport them somewhere else where they could just go all out without hurting anyone else, somewhere with water preferably, so that Saitama can actually rival the blast with his squirt gun. And I could see Saitama honestly just being confused for the most part, and Goku would just keep picking up speed and power to try and land a real punch, like a clean one on Saitama, basically going through form after form, starting with the Kaioken and then finally ending with Super Saiyan 3. Goku would scream and unleash a full power Kamehameha, to which Saitama would just pop in a lake to unleash the equally scary Serious Squirt water gun. It would be a beam struggle for generations, but right after, these two would unleash 2 full power punches to each other's faces, and at that point, Saitama would probably realize 2 things. First things first, it is time for a serious fight, and more importantly, this dude's hair is not balding, it's growing. I mean, he would probably get really angry that this dude could have all this power and keep his hair, and that would push Saitama to a level that we have never seen before. But you see, here we run into a little bit of a problem, because we don't really know at this point what that upper limit actually is, and based on what we do know, a full-strength Goku may still be a little bit too powerful for Saitama here. Then again, Saitama gets so ridiculous later on, I mean, we just really don't know yet, which means we're gonna be safe and call this round a draw. And yeah, I do get it, you wanna know what these two are actually capable of at full power, so what would happen if they both went 100% in an all-out battle to the death in their strongest forms? Well, let me tell you, the answer is probably not what you are expecting, because it's not what I was expecting. First things first, Dragon Ball Super Goku is a literal god, and no, I'm not playing that up for excitement. Goku cracks into the realm of the gods, achieving Super Saiyan God on top of the unbelievable Ultra Instinct. This is a technique and form that the gods and angels of the multiverse, and yes, I said the multiverse, recognize altogether as very impressive. Basically, Goku has now the ability to move without thinking, dealing heavy damage to a god of destruction. He's able to withstand the overwhelming force of Hakai, a move that completely erases a person from existence otherwise. And not just that, he's able to tank attacks capable of not only destroying planets, but the fabric of space and time itself. So in the Battle of Gods between him and Beerus, the punches start to break the universe to the point where each punch threatens to destroy the entire universe. Not only that, but in his fight with the assassin Hit, Goku moves so fast that he's able to move faster than time. Am I reading that right? Is that even theoretically possible? No, it's not, I think, but it doesn't really matter because Goku does it several times, in fact. But that's really just the tip of the iceberg here, because if you thought him transforming and shaking his universe was already crazy, well, you've seen really nothing yet. During the Tournament of Power, when Goku faces the character stronger than the gods, Jiren, he taps into that previously mentioned power, Ultra Instinct. And when he does that, he shakes the Infinite Void, which Gojo was very upset about, by the way, and they end up fighting in the space between universes, a place that is literally immeasurable, and Goku powering up shakes it. Like, I don't even know how to make that feat sound even remotely as insane as it really is, so trust me when I say Goku's power level is basically nearly infinite in this form. So, which begs the question, how on earth could Saitama ever come close to Goku here? Well, not so fast. Let's see, because Saitama also fights a universal threat and handles it pretty easily. And we know that thanks to his fight with the hero hunter Awakened Garo Cosmic Fear Mode. We're getting into manga territory here, but you see, in the One Punch Man world, every living being has what's called a limiter. This is a limit placed on them by the character gods. Yeah, gods. Characters can level planets and do all of the crazy stuff that I mentioned previously within their limits. However, Garo, well, he just becomes the Fist of God, which awakened him to all of the knowledge and power of the universe itself. That means he's able to punch with the force of a nuclear bomb and even can mimic all of Saitama's strength/speed using his own Saitama mode. Now, as the battle continued, Saitama was pretty easily trading blows with Garo, and when both of their iconic serious punches hit, it was with enough force to wipe out stars across light years away. So you see, we're getting to that power level, but there's more, just wait. When they move their battle to Jupiter, Saitama's power becomes so insane compared to Garo that in an instant he learns how to time travel? That's right, by controlling his body on a subatomic level, Saitama can send himself back in time and with the newfound strength to one-shot Garo before he's able to transform into his cosmic fear mode in the first place. So, to sum it up, Saitama can time travel, destroy stars, and move beyond the speed of light, while on the flip side, Goku shatters time itself, shakes the infinite void, becomes the strongest warrior in the multiverse. And so it's at this moment, at the height of both of their strengths, that their final battle would begin. Goku would have enough respect for Saitama to shift straight into mastered Ultra Instinct, rushing Saitama at a speed that he's never seen before. For the very first time ever, Saitama would be on the ropes here. This is an overwhelming power that he's just never had to face before, and for the very first time, fear and excitement really start to boil a little bit within him. And as a result, I think that Saitama would also begin to grow as the battle continues, possibly even using the serious table flip to throw mountains at Goku as well. However, the immense power and speed of Ultra Instinct Goku is just immeasurable. Still, Goku would definitely recognize Saitama's insane rapid growth and continue to push him further and further into the realm of the gods. Basically, at this point, each blow they trade would be shattering mountains, destroying oceans, and exploding whole planets. God and Zeno would be watching in amazement at the true power of fighters with actual no limits. But unfortunately for Saitama, Goku would also be growing as their battle continued. And while with some time they may even out somewhat, the gap between them is simply too big to overcome in a single fight. Saitama would blast one last wave of water at Goku, and Goku would use his Kamehameha to grind down the beam like a skateboarder, and once he was within point-blank range, he'd be able to unleash a god-level Kamehameha. And with that, I think that Goku would finally take down the One Punch Man. Whew, okay, well, as you can tell, this fight may not actually be as close as many people normally present it as, and that's because the feats in the universe of One Punch Man and Dragon Ball are just really not on the same level. You see, the main argument people usually have for Saitama is the fact that Saitama is the One Punch Man and can defeat anyone in a single punch, but unfortunately, Garo here isn't defeated in one punch either, at least not when he's at full power as well. And what that actually means is that Saitama's maximum potential isn't actually infinite, which is sort of necessary to defeat Goku, as his Dragon Ball Super feats are just truly beyond mind-bending. Basically, everything crazy that Saitama can do, Goku, unfortunately for him, has been shown to be able to do as well, if not stronger. He has shaken the multiverse, he's defeated characters like Jiren, who are literally faster than time itself, and he's defeated several god-level threats like Jiren, Moro, and Gas. All these characters transformed to become the strongest being in their universe during their fights with Goku, meaning that Goku during their fight continued to break his own limits, getting even more powerful than threats above his own level. But to Saitama's credit, so did he. He's able to consistently outgrow Garo every time that they clash. They show it here on this exponential scale, and it's actually not even close. However, I would argue that the gap between him and Goku is just so large to begin with, at least on paper. Saitama was already way more powerful than Awakened Garo Cosmic Fear mode, but he's far from Dragon Ball Super Goku's baseline. So I guess the real question here is, could Saitama surpass Goku with enough time? And to be completely honest, I do think that he probably could, but if Goku were to start their fight off at maximum strength, it would probably end up being a simple case of Goku wiping the floor with Saitama, thinking that he's stronger than he actually is. I'll be completely honest, I really went into this video thinking it was a no-brainer and that Saitama was just leagues above any other character in fiction, but unfortunately Goku is still the strongest character out there, at least for now. But if you want to see another really surprising result of a matchup between anime's strongest fighters, check out this video on Luffy versus Naruto, because I promise, just like this one, the answer to who's actually stronger will probably shock you. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, subscribing really helps a really small channel like this, and I hopefully will see you in the next video.